Hello there, YouTube, and welcome to a 38-degree Monday, the 16th of March. It's supposed to get to 63 degrees today. It's supposed to rain all day, I believe, but kind of not looking so bad at the moment. Keep fingers crossed. But yeah, I always hope for nicer weather. Since we got back from Florida, I feel like we've been punished. It's like we weren't allowed to have that much fun. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the trike day vlog that I released last night. And God, that was so much fun. Took me a long time to build that thing, but that was a ton of fun. But anyway, running a little late, and and gonna bail out. Y'all coming along for the rumble, I guess. See what happens today. Sun's out, everything's dry, and we're gonna take this 2011 RT-S for a ride around the block. Set the fence off for him. Jeez, I thought that was one of our service riders. That's just a customer. Hope he's supposed to be down here. I'm sure somebody sent him down. They always do. And they get tied up with a phone call, or a customer walks up and they can't run down to unlock or to release the gate. 53 degrees. It's supposed to be 67 here today. We were, we showed up literally right at the time we're supposed to be here, so we didn't do the little parking lot in the car thing. I don't know if you guys care about that thing anyway. I am horribly a creature of habit. If you haven't figured that out over the years. First time I lit off the old GoPro in a while. I do like the GoPro color and stuff, and and the fact that it's shooting at 5.3K instead of 4. Just the details are amazing. But I'm sure GoPro's working on it. It's weird because last year was the first year, I think literally the first year in the history of the GoPros that there wasn't a next model up kind of a thing. And maybe they've done it before, but I don't know. It seems like every year there's a new GoPro. But I get it. I wouldn't. No sense in doing something half cocked. They need to come out fighting. And the DJI, the Insta360's out there, but I'm not interested in that thing at all. I watch enough stuff that it's either going to be a GoPro or a DJI. Just the DJI, they just mastered the menu system, the workflow. They charge up just crazy fast, which is usually not a good thing for batteries, but it is amazing how fast they charge up. The whole time we're down in Daytona, I brought a 3-pack of batteries in that little charge case, because I ended up with an extra battery with that Insta360. It came with, the DJI Osmo 360 camera, and it came with extra battery. So the Action, I can't get the GoPro out of my head. The Action 5 Pro that I bought last year, or I guess that would be the year before last now, because I've got the Action 6 last year, end of the year. Anyway, with the 5, I got the, it's a buy-up kit. It came with 2 extra batteries, the charge case, and a whole bunch of little goodies. And so anyway, I had 2 batteries there in that charge case, and then with a 360 camera, I got 2 batteries with that. So yeah, nothing. I never had to change batteries. They last so long. That's another thing too. Well, I can't say that so much. The Hero 13 Black, they've been really, really good with the batteries. And that caused some controversy because it was an all-new battery, which, things got to change. You can't keep them the same forever. But yeah, the new batteries work really, really well, but they're very, very slow charging. Now you can use, this charge brick that GoPro sells along with their the little charge base, and it does speed it up quite a bit. But that's a hassle to have all that stuff around. When with a DJI, you find a USB-C somewhere and just plug it in, and whoop, she charges up quick. Man, woke up this morning. I spent so much time doing the trike day vlog, which was phenomenal. Man, so I decided to watch that thing on the TV. That's a true test. See how she shows up on TV. And I don't think we even made it to the restaurant or whatever in the video, and Kelly woke me up at 7:30 this morning, and I hadn't finished yesterday's video, and I still haven't. So I brought my MacBook, iPad and stuff so I can come up with a thumbnail and finish that. The vlogs, it's uploaded. I just need to do all the other stuff with it, all the tagging and everything you do with it. I have a 23 Spyder RT Limited in for a oil and filter change and an inspection. Give her a once over. Man, this thing runs good. I mean, absolutely fantastic. So much so I haven't even thought about the fact I'm riding a twin and not a triple. I mean, really good. I even had it outside warming up where we took off from, and I go, man, I never grabbed a T25 and checked his 4 dash screws, which was a thing up until whatever year, 2018, 17, somewhere in there. But yeah, they were snug. I mean, just the slightest. You do not over tighten those things. And how well this guy has kept this thing. Even the service manager was down there, and he's going, wow, the gauges are still hooked up. He goes, what was the deal with them gauges? Why did everybody disconnect them? They said they weren't accurate, but I never had one that wasn't. I've had them go bad and do a weird thing, but that was usually 2010, 2011. After that, just 2012 and on, problems with them. The fuel gauge would go bad. It wouldn't not show, but it would bounce. So it made you kind of concerned where the fuel level was. You just got to remember, if you're traveling on one of these, they'll get worse gas mileage than any small car. You just need to stop a lot. I can't make it home and back without, it goes through a tank. I think it's about a tank and a little bit more. I can't make the trip without stopping for gas. where with a 1330 I can go home, back, and it's on the way home almost by my house. It's, you know, like a second day that I got to fill up again. So I have like 1.5 days of going back and forth to work. When on one of these I literally can't make it to work and back. I've taken these things home for customers that say, you just need to take it, ride the thing home, you live a long ways away. And yeah, it costs a lot. It's not a small tank, and I always use super, and if I can, non-ethanol. They really like that. But I mean, listen how this thing purrs. She was a little rough before I put the map hoses on there. Then you got to do that. They want you to do that dadgum reset thing. And when I was doing that on a Thursday, I think it was, I forgot that you got to relearn the transmission on these things. If it's the, well, I think any of them. For certain, the SE5s, the paddle shifter ones. This thing absolutely runs like a dream. 18,000 miles. So that's enough miles since 2011 that, you know, it's getting ridden, I would say, enough to keep them healthy. Like the guys at BRP, and I just pass it on. They said these twins, ride them till you wear them out and get another one. The twins do not like to sit. And definitely never, I talked about that already, about this one. Never short run them. I'd put 10 or more miles on one anytime I started one up. Of course, I'm not taking 10 miles on this thing, but I let it heat cycle really good, and I'm taking it for a ride, and the you know, the customer's obviously not going to leave it here for a long time, so initially I'm doing a short run, but there's, you know, there's an end game to it. People picking their stuff up, they're so happy to have it. They're gonna go for a long rip, I'm sure. Oh, we got enough room. For some reason in my head, I thought this thing was really skinny. Well, that's a lot of. I like when the street sweepers come through, but they also throw all the junk from the road off in the side. Don't want no kind of flats. You just got to go slow. The odds of something pointing up and you running over it and it pokes in is really, really rare. That's why you ever notice, unless you don't take care of your tires, you always have rear flats on your car, not front flats, because your very own front tire ran over something that was laying there. Well, hello there, see this guy. Good God, it's been a minute since I've seen you. If, you know, something laying there like a nail gets flipped in the air, well, I'm just going to go straight. I'll go around there. And your rear wheel comes along and it just happens to catch it right while it's flipping down the road. That's why it's really rare to pick up stuff in a Spyder, because none of the wheels are following each other. And I've seen tacks and stuff in the back of Spyders, so I would imagine that, you know, it flung off the front wheel, and wind or whatever blew it over, and it got to the rear. So I got sidetracked, which is not unusual for me. But I started to tell you, I spent so much time on that video that when I woke up I'm reaching down to click it into gear. Oh my Lord. That's all the time on the bikes and trikes. But anyway, I got up this morning when Kelly woke me up, and I was surprised that I was at home. I spent so much time, I got so absorbed into that video that when I woke up, I thought I was in Florida still. I'm like looking around the room like, what's going on here? I must have been having, I don't remember, but I must have been having dreams of being back there again. That was such a great time. Holy moly. And Kelly just goes on every once in a while about it, especially when it's cold and rainy and the weather's nasty. She's just going, man, that was so nice. Because I mean, it's full-fledged spring down there. All the leaves are in the trees and people out running around, just like summer around here. But when summer comes around here, you need to take full, and I do mean full advantage of it, because the winters can be long. And we're only, what, halfway through March? Yeah, halfway through March. Winter's not over. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. Winter's not over. And I mean, it can last at times to the end of July. I mean, we always pray that it's going to be, you know, it'll come quicker and you have a nice long summer. But you never know what you're going to get. They can predict all they want, but Mother Nature ultimately is going to make the final decision. It's beyond all of us to control it. The gas mileage these things get, I'd be a little worried about that gauge reading dang near to red there. He's got a bit. And I would imagine that's probably the mileage on this tank. I don't know if he resets his trip meter, but I don't think I get that out of him. I think I was getting around 120. It was like riding a Sportster. It was around 120 or so as the gas. I needed to stop for gas. It may have went further, but you know, I don't like to risk that kind of a thing. But thanks for coming along on the 2011 Spyder RT-S. She is a beauty, and she runs exactly like she looks. Nice. Even though this thing's a 23, it's still, the brake fluid shouldn't be black. It's supposed to be changed every 2 years or 25,000 miles, so it's past its 2-year mark. But still, I mean, what's with the black brake fluid? And then once we change it, it never comes back that way. I was going to show you this bucket. That is not oil I put in there. I'm sure you guys have seen that and going, oh, that smoke's not pouring that crap out of that bucket. That oil, when I dump it, I leave about 3 inches at the bottom just to give it weight. But all that oil, from there to there, is oil that has dripped out of the funnel. Just drips at a time. When I pull it out, hold my finger over it, and I stick it in the lid, and it drips. That's just residue from the funnel that has filled that thing. Oh, did my funnel crack? Oh no, it's just a molding mark. Didn't that look like a crack? Huh. Oh, it's on both sides. Just some kind of weird molding thing. It sure looked like it was cracked, didn't it? You guys can make that out. Yeah. Looks like it's cracking on the seam on both sides, but it's not. Or maybe it is on the outside. Feels like it's sticking up. Anyway, I'm going to dump that thing again because it gets to the point that it dips in the funnel, or the funnel dips into the oil. And when it's been sitting there for a while, like, you know, what's it been, 2 weeks since I changed oil and Spyder or anything, you lift that funnel up, assuming it's empty and nothing's going to drip because it's been sitting there, and you swing it up to put it in the bike and you make a mess. That didn't happen, but I noticed that it was awfully full looking, and I lifted it up and just the tip of the funnel was dipping in the oil. So I could go outside there and dump it in the waste oil thing, because it's mixed with Lord knows what. You know, red line tranny oil, chain case oil, everything else anything I use that funnel on. It's mostly BRP XPS 5W40, but I mean, it's been so long since I dumped that. That's mixed with probably BMW 1550 and 540 and all kinds of good stuff floating around in that thing. But anyway, I gotta go up and give the advisor the bad news that This thing, it's at a critical state. It just immediately goes whack right to red, or right to 4%. You know, it goes full red right to the top. Again, if you guys know of a brake fluid tester that goes over 4%, because I'd like to say, dude, you're at like 8%, whatever. At 4%, it says right on the thing, and you know the manuals tell you it's critical that it get replaced. So, and then when it's black like that, it takes, you know, I mean, it's 2 full bottles. Sometimes I'll do a third, and just to make sure, you got to get that out, because you got to remember all that stuff's going to the VCM, and it's going from here to the master cylinder, and then to the VCM, and then out to the wheels. So what you see up here, and of course, if something contaminated that at some point, I thought water was getting in there and contaminating it. I just don't, the thing's sealed off. I just don't know. You know, Harley's had some recalls on their hydraulic clutches because of, and even on brakes because of, you know, faulty brake fluid that they got from somebody. I mean, you got to trust, you know, people somewhere along the line. So I'm a huge fan of either, good Lord, Bel-Ray .4 or the BRP.4. The BRP, and just so you know, well, I don't know if this is going to continue, but the Indian brake fluid and the Polaris brake fluid are exactly the same. I don't know about their oils, because BRP specifically has stuff blended in their oil that makes it different, you know, specific to the Spyders. The manufacturers do that, and you get people, oil is oil, I use whatever. Well, the manufacturers do certain things. Now, that being said, you know, I don't run Harley's, you know, Sin 3 stuff and all of my stuff. I'm Motor X for the motor, and Redline for the chain case and transmission. It's just, I've got other things that back that up that I won't ever change from that. A lot of time with KTM's and that Motor X engine oil. I just seen stuff that nothing should have survived that, and they did. And literally no harm did. So, I've used it. It's been perfect. Never any kind of residue. It's got, you know, just a right amount of detergents in the oil. There's no sign that anything, you know, corroding. I don't short run my motors absolutely ever, so that's not even an issue. And just never do it. I've just seen way too many damaged things, and it's nasty. But, you know, some people, you know, trade out so quick. But, you know, I have a problem. I have a deep problem with that, because I work on these things, and, you know, people abusing a vehicle and then trading out of it and sending it off for the next guy to deal with the nightmares, you know, the failing throttle bodies and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, all that moisture in the case goes through the throttle body, and on those V-twins, that's a kiss of death. That's bad news. And I've replaced a couple throttle bodies on 1330s. It's been few and far between, but, you know, we've had some, and basically it's kind of the same code. And it's just, you know, all that moisture going through there, you don't want that sitting in there. That's why you run it for, you know, 9.3 miles, 15 kilometers. I like to go 10 or more miles just to make sure it is evacuated. I don't want any of that moisture back. It's still floating around in there. Just get it out. But people gonna do what they do, and, you know, one by one. I talk about this all the time, and I get people, why do I need to ride it that far? I was like, you almost want to go, dude, were you listening to what I was saying? I have said this so many times over the way more than 10 years, because I was doing it on the other channel as well. So it doesn't matter. You know, if somebody lives close to work and they don't want to, you know, fire their car up, which is even worse, And I can totally understand that. I mean, the larger the capacity, the more moisture it makes. Buy a little scooter that burns itself off in, you know, a couple 3 miles. There's nothing in there, you know. You don't see water dripping out of those exhausts. The motor's just so small, it burns itself out really quick. And there's a very small volume of oil. I mean, look at some of those things. Some of them are, you know, half a quart or a little bit more, 700 cc's and stuff like that. It don't take long to burn all that out. When the, you know, the motor's that small, plus they rev a little higher, they get it to hit the temperature and burn things off really quick. This thing, even though it's 5.5 quarts, when you change the oil, it holds 7 quarts. So there's all that oil that's still in there at all times. That's why you want to keep up on your oil changes, because if you change the oil and it's just really nasty, you need to ride it for, you know, a couple 100 miles and do the oil change again. Do it until it's clear. I've seen bikes where I change the oil and it's so nasty, I put, you know, you get it all out as much as you can, and you change the oil, you look in the viewing window or the dipstick, and the oil is pitch black. The oil was so nasty that it blackened the new oil. I've literally had people come back screaming that I forgot to change the oil on Yamahas and stuff that have the sight windows. No, sir, your oil got changed. I do it hot so that I can evacuate as much as I can. I'm not taking your engine apart to get the rest of it out, because all engines hold oil in certain little pockets so that on startup, you know, it has something there. So if you keep it clean all the time, you know, change it at a normal interval, then everything looks great inside there. But anyway, there's my rant for the day. Got to roll to get this thing done. Well, hello there, YouTube. Nice to drive home in the sunshine, dry roads. I didn't think it was supposed to be like this, but I'm not complaining at all.
No, not at all.
Danny got busted chasing a cat into the barn.
Got yelled at.
Yeah. He knows better.
Leave them kids
All you gotta do is
alone.
go, Danny. He comes out, ears all tucked back. I was doing nothing.
Yeah, I was doing nothing.
You know, there's a cat buried back there somewhere. We've seen 7 deer between the highway and our house on the side of the road.
They're so pretty.
And they're so used to the cars, they let us get real close.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, stick your hand out with a handful of corn, you probably come up and nibble some out.
I know it. When they kiss their little faces.
Yeah, they sure are adorable. You can tell they're switching their, you know, their winter coat to the summer coat. They got all that puffy, fluffy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice because you can see them better. But to get out in those gray fields, now you can't see them again.
Yeah.
But
you have to have contrast to find them.
Yeah. But anyway, fun day at work. It's got an hour and a half before it gets dark. So I'm sure Sasha's going to go for a walk.
Yeah, little Miss Princess.
But I think I've already blogged enough stuff. I didn't take you guys for another thing. But I always have something with me in case something pops out.
Yeah.
But,
just never know.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to roll with that.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. I got a stick. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give her a thumbs up. And you guys have an amazing Tuesday or Wednesday.
Heck yeah. We're just leaning against the old fence here.
Yeah, and there's a stick.
Yep, there is. All right. See you guys tomorrow.
See you then.
Appreciate you watching.
Yes.
Thanks for all the comments on the
Yes.
trike video and stuff. That's
Much appreciated.
It's kept me hopping with comments here lately. But
That's cool.
appreciate it a lot. See you tomorrow.
See you in the morning.
Thanks now.